All right, I went shopping. I like to shop off the scrap rack at the steel place. They had these 1.25 inch by 2 inch tube that were already cut. And I got this 1.75 inch inside diameter. And this plate, you cut this in half, and those are going to be my plates that go here. So cut this, because this is 6 inch by 10, so that'd give me 6 by 5 would be those two. And then this will be, I'll cut like 4 inches, and those will be my mount tubes. I have bigger inside diameter that will slide over this. Not sure how that's going to work. I may not have enough here. We'll cut that angle to weld to here. Something. But I've got plenty. I could use this stuff here and bolt on, and then use that as a cross piece that will bolt in to make that centerpiece removable. Something like that. Anyway, well, here's what I've got so far. Got a couple stub pieces of that 3/4 inch by 2 inch. And I think I've got enough on this side of the arm where we can drill a hole and bolt this on with U-bolts so it will come off. That's the plan. Welding, like I said, we're going to build the crap out of this, which could mean welding to the frame. I don't want to do that, but I'm not ruling it out. But I think bolting it will be sufficient. Then I've got this cross piece here that we will bolt to there. or that could be welded. And then if we can U-bolt these, we can weld this. You understand what I'm saying? Because then it will be removable. And not that we couldn't do it so it comes apart in pieces. That would be fine too. Then this, not actually this, see how that goes? I'm not going to use that because it's too long. It's too heavy. But this, look how that works. That lines up pretty good. We can come right under there. So what we will do with this is cut a 4-inch piece, something like that. We'll cut the angle so it'll fit there. Weld that. Well, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll cut this like that. Cut the angle. That will go there. We'll drill a hole through there, and this will slide over that, and we can pin it. And this will be welded to here, this. Then we can take the pins out, unbolt the U-bolts, and this whole thing will come right out. Because let me show you, because what I got ahead of myself again here, I tend to do that. There will be plates put in here. And I can show you, I showed that in the first video. Here's my plate. Now here's a piece of plexiglass that's about the size of the plate. See how I even drew the line in there to show, if you can see that. There's lines in there. I am not a master fabricator. I can't draw something. I'm not good with angles. All that kind of stuff. So check this out. For those of you who are impaired like me, you've got your plexiglass. It's dirty. Put your plexiglass here. Mark your holes. Draw your line. Drill them out, cut it down, transfer it to your plate. You got your holes right where you want them. No guessing, no screwing up, no redoing it. Simple. Wipe this off and use it over for something else. There's your shop tip for the day. I'm going to start drilling some holes and getting busy. There I've got my lines drawn, I got my holes marked, ready to drill and cut. There are my mirror image cutouts. There's my template. You can see I didn't drill a hole in there. It's still a solid piece of plexiglass. You just lift that up and mark your holes. Draw your lines. Works really slick. I cut this tubing in half. Well, not quite. There was a 1/4 inch extra. Good enough. Because we're only going to use, that's 7. if I get my angle cut right, that's why I cut it long, in case I screw up. But if I get my angle cut right, we only need like 4 inches of this. But I don't know how big the angle is going to be either. It might be 7 inches on the top and 4 inches on the bottom or whatever. So, but that should give us plenty to work with. Now I'm going to bolt these up so we can mock up what those angles are going to look like. So, to get my angle for here, I took a piece of wood and my angle maker, put my angle maker on here like this, and then I took my square that's got a level in it, and got my angle. And then what I did was transferred that angle to the piece of plywood and cut it. Used my level. Not sure if you're getting all that. Used my level. Now that was pretty close. So I knew that it was, well, as much as I could know that it was right. Then I took my piece of tubing and put the angle on there and cut them. So that's there. And that one we'll have to tack on the bottom. And then fill in the top to get it square. And this one was the other way, or at least I thought it was. This one's pretty close, but that one's the same way. We'll put a tack on the bottom, and then we'll tap it with the hammer to get it so it's square. Now the problem is, I don't want to tack these until I have the right position for the rest of the metal. And that's not far away, but it's lunchtime and I've got some phone calls to make. So that's where we'll end this video. Well, here's everything's pretty much mocked up in place. Grab my tape measure. We've got stubs that will be U-bolted on here. Maybe welded, let's hope not. If this is welded, this will not be, so that this will come off. So that we'll only be left with those on the ends if we have to have them. These will be welded to here, and then these bolt, obviously, so these could stay on and this would come off. This will be welded. I did use my square, and these were pretty good. You have to keep in mind the arms for the front wheels are not, there's not an equal distance between them. They're not square with the world. There is more space here than here. That's just the way it is. I measured to this mounting hole from the back of here is 1 foot. So in theory, this is the mount for the dethatcher. Mounts in these holes here. I just moved that. I know I did. If I measure from here, it puts the dethatcher out about here, which should give us plenty of room around the wheel, which is why we're doing this this is the whole reason we're doing this. If you mount this where this is, there's not enough room. There you can see, you can get an idea of that. The wheels wouldn't caster. Pivot, spin, spin. Let's go with spin. The front wheels wouldn't spin. So this is what I've come up with as a much better way. And I don't know what the actual JRCO bracket looks like for this machine. I only know how it mounted on our 60-inch machine, and it the counterweights for the bagger mount here. There's a bracket, and then the JRCO brackets come up and over into the middle here. And I don't know how they do that with, it must be a whole different whatever. I have a video that shows the 60-inch machine and how we had to reinforce and revamp those brackets. I'll put up the link. I'm still working on, I don't know how to make it clickable, I don't think, but I did in the last video. I did put the link to the other video in the text on the GoPro. The GoPro editor, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Still learning that too, but every video gets a little better, I hope. But that's where we're at. I'm going to start tack welding some of this together and see what happens. Stay tuned. I was having such a good time with my new welder. I got a little more than tacking. I don't know if it's technically with the 030 wire that I was using, shouldn't be doing, this is about the limit of what I should be doing. I don't know if I'll take out the arc welder, but it did. I had a gap there, it filled that in real nice, turned speed up, worked real well. Set up the welding table. I'm going to unbolt this and unclamp it, bring it over there and finish welding around there. Then I can get in a little better up on those front brackets too when that's gone. So that's what's coming next. Well, here I've got everything's welded. That one didn't have much to fill on the back. This was, so I was wondering about what kind of penetration I was getting with my little Chicago Electric 180 welder here with my 030 flux wire, no gas. So I tacked these on in place, and then I took everything apart so I could finish welding, and I can clean everything up and paint it. But on this one, you can see where, because I did notice a smell. I stopped and looked around to see what might have been, smelled like plastic. Thought I maybe got a slag in something that, and this is still kind of warm. So, but I got such good penetration with the weld that it burned the paint. So obviously I didn't do it on this side, but we know it's capable. This is 1/4 inch. The tubing isn't quarter. The tubing's like 3/16, but I'm pretty confident in the welding capability of this little welder on this substantial structural stuff. This other one over here had quite a bit bigger gap. Oh, this is the one that went through with the paint. So, I'm not a welder. I don't claim to be, but I can get stuff done. And we'll just leave it at that. I weld so seldom. I don't get much, I don't get to practice. But there was a big gap here between the tubing and the flat, and I did fill that in, overfilled it. I was going to grind that down, but it was a little warm. So that's where we're at. We need to, I don't know if the heat of the welding expanded the metal and the bolts were a little hard to get apart on the pieces that we want to bolt together. So we may end up hogging out those holes a little bit so that stuff goes together just a hair better. I am going to next measure how big a U-bolts I need to bolt these pieces on, and that will be the next step. If we bolt these, if we U-bolt these on and they feel stable, then we will weld that cross piece onto these tabs, and then it will all unbolt together. If not, we will weld these tabs to the machine, and then we will bolt the cross member together so that the cross member will come out and these will stay, so that we can still get into areas to mow with the front of the mower. So things are going. I've gotten a lot done today. I feel really good about stuff. Sun shining. Kinda. The clouds were rolling in. It's supposed to get cold, and we're supposed to have some wintry mix and some snow tomorrow. We'll see if that happens or not. They're usually wrong. But this project is going really well. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned.